Ladies and gentlemen, this is internet personality Vangelus, and an even cursory glance at my current desk space would belie that I have quite a bit I'd like to review. However, I've got to set priorities. I mean, there's always Transformers Animated, the new toys on the block, and you know, there's a couple of those I could be taking a look at right now. But, I'll save those for later, I think. You know, Black Arachnia, and there's Kamen Riders, the SH Fig Arts figures, of which I have the whole series, which I could talk about, but those will come later, too. There's even things I could return to, like the fact that Animated Prowl's a perfect bike for any G.I. Joe or Motion Revive Kamen Rider figure. But I'll get to that later. I could even touch on things like, Revoltech, a wonderful line of which I have nearly 20 figures. But, Revoltechs, we've all seen them, right? You can wait on those for a little bit longer. There's things in the background that you might be noticing that you may have seen in the background of older reviews, such as, Orion, or, and there's also the 25th anniversary G.I. Joes, who I'm still trying to figure out how I could exactly fill up more than 2 minutes of time speaking about. But that's, again, not really the important thing. I mean, there's all this kind of stuff kicking around. There's the other Kamen Rider series, the Sochok Henshin, of which I have quite a few. There's even, the Gigaton Punch. But, no, all this stuff isn't important right now. I've decided that my next review is going to be grassroots. It's going to be getting back to what got me started in the first place. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I will be reviewing something from Transformers G1. I'm going to be reviewing something from the 80s. Something that was part of my childhood. Something that may in fact have been from the early 90s, but I can't quite recollect when it was released. However, that's besides the point. This is the single greatest Generation 1 Transformer ever released. And his name is Omega Spreem. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Action Masters Elite, Omega Spreem. Now this is one hell of a manly toy. His character is not Omega Supreme. In fact, I can't remember his character at all because I don't have the packaging he came with anymore, and I was too lazy to check tfu.info or the Transformers Wikipedia. However, my history form is basically, infallibly correct, so I'll just continue from there. This is basically Omega Supreme's bigger brother, who's a lot more badass than he is, because he doesn't have to compensate by being an enormous city-sized robot. No! This Omega Supreme, as you can see, he's glaring at you right now. He is so manly, he is so full of robotic testosterone. He's not only short, not only has stumpy legs, but he wears bright pink armor. Not because he's some kind of sissy boy, but because he knows that only a real man can wear this and be a master of battle. As you can see, he even has a bright pink gun. And I really can't get across enough just how menacing his glare is with that frown sculpted into the visor. It's beautiful. Of course, that is just one giant eye because he doesn't need a mouth. Now, something I do like about this toy is that it's very late G1. It's from when Europe was the only place still making Transformers, because they did keep the line alive while Japan and North America gave up on it. And he's got, I think, some of the first use of universal joints. Now, Action Masters were all about posability, only they could barely be posed, but he has universal joints in his shoulders and his hips, along with knees and a waist, and he can look up, too, so you can have him, posed down here, opening fire on the stuff. And now he's an Action Master Elite, of which there are only 4. And they're very sought after, so logically, the only people who don't like this toy in any way clearly are just jealous that they don't have it themselves. So, what I'll show you now is the secret and the beauty of the Action Master Elite, which is its transformation. That's right. These Action Masters are so badass, they have universal joints, and they transcended the ill effects of Nucleon. Oh man, this gets me going. I mean, this was the king of my Transformers when I was little. Now, his transformation's a little involved, so try to stick with me here. Basically, you unfold his guns from his hands here. Now, he also has other mid-modes, like he can execute the Spreem Whirlwind, whereby he shoots everything in the entire world. And that's how he actually ended the world once before he grew bored and decided to bring it back. Now, you point those up, and you flip his head so he's following that. Now, his leg armor folds down, but since he's Omega Spreem, his legs don't actually fold because he's not going to bend like that for just any man. And you just kind of bend him down like this. And the final key is the Omega Spreem cannon locks into here, forming the front of this vehicle's treads. Now here we go. This is... Oh, and then you rotate this around so that that matches up there. And you get an alternate face sculpt by doing so. As you can see, now he has like a nose and a mouth plate down there. It's a very cool idea. And this is the Omega Spreem vehicle mode. Now, a lot of people have derived this for being basically the letter C backwards. However, I challenge that, and I tell you that this is probably the most terrifying thing that could ever approach you on the battlefield, because it has 5 cannons. Now, one of them, granted, is pointing down and back straight into his own engine block, but that one just doesn't shoot because he wants to look at you while he's killing you. And then as he rolls forward, right, he starts unleashing the Spreem Cyclone! And he completely destroys the competition. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So, basically what I'm trying to get across here is that Omega Spreem is the single greatest Transformer ever made. He even predates some action features that we've grown a little bit unappreciative of, like universal joints or spinning torsos, as you can see in the Classics 2-pack Optimus Prime, if you've seen that. He has an homage to Omega Spreem there. And, yeah, this toy will fetch you a lot online, especially if he's still in the package, but, I'd recommend opening him up because, well, he's Omega Spreem. He doesn't need to be bound by packaging. Although his older brother is getting a reissue, it seems this mold has been passed over, which is a real shame. And the eHobby recolor of the Omega Spreem reissue, which should have been this color scheme, is instead going to be some boring blue deal, which I'm going to have to skip. If it was this color scheme, I would have bought it, but no. No. They had to be pussies and go with like some kind of pussy blue gray. I'm a cool robot color scheme, not something like I am so damn manly I can be turquoise, red, pink, and cream yellow and still kick your ass. So in closing, Omega Spreem, remember that, Spreem. Omega Spreem is the greatest G1 toy ever made, and I really had to do a review of him here. So, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that you lust after him, because if you don't, then you'll be looking down the barrel of the Spreem Cyclone! This is internet personality Vangelus signing off, because I'm getting scared. I'm getting scared because the cyclone is coming. The whirlwind is coming. And there ain't nothing you gonna do to get out of the sights of Omega Spreem, baby!